As you guys can see, we have some special guests joining us here in the studio. And guys, we're actually making history. This is the first time we have ever had a softball team on Toyota Sports Extra. So it's only right that in order to make history, we are joined by the Capital Christian softball team. By the way, the defending NorCal state champion softball team. And representing the Cougars, let me say this before I introduce them. All of these ladies up here are college commits. So an incredible feat. All right, now let's introduce them. Starting off over here, we have Kelsey Joyner. And right next to Kelsey, we have Haley Alkire. And right next to Haley, we have Alana Tua. Now we're going to go to this side. Standing next to Matt, we have Miss Bree Johnson. And standing next to her, the head coach, the woman with the master plan, the one and only Miss Caitlin Owen. Thank you guys all so very much for spending your Sunday evening, and welcome to Toyota Sports Extra.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Absolutely. I am elated to have you on here. So first of all, let's just get straight into it. You guys are off to another great season. You've only lost one game so far this year. And we're not going to even talk about the 5 shutouts that you guys have as well. What is working so well for this Capital Christian softball team?
Bree, you want to lead us?
Sure. I think a big thing that we have is team camaraderie with all the girls. Like, we always get along with each other, and we always push each other in practices, which is like the most important part. And especially in games too, just to be better and like not let the little things bother us. And I feel like that's like been a really big key to our success.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's super fun. I think that everyone on the team brings a certain aspect of leadership in every different way. And I think that our coaches really help us to push us to be that way. And I think that everyone has something special that they bring to the team, and I think that leads to our wins on game day.
Well, Haley, tell me a little bit about, you mentioned 8 seniors, so you guys have played together and you're very familiar with each other for a while. Tell me about the group of seniors and the memories that you're bringing with you now going to college.
Yeah, these girls are some of my closest friends. I know these girls have my back on and off the field, and I think that's something that we established early on, and I'm really excited to see where they go.
I love it. Now, one of the nice things about winning a championship is that, it brings respect, attention, sense of pride, and everything that comes with that. But on the flip side of that, when you win a championship the following season, everyone is gunning for you. How do you deal with having the target on your backs this year? And do you feel that there's like a lot of expectation or pressure that you have to live up to?
I wouldn't say so much pressure. I feel like it's more of like a push for us to like do better. Like, I feel like it just like gives us all like more of that work. Like, we want to work harder to like redo what we did last year, and like I think it'll just push us to be just as good and even better as last year.
I love it. You said to do just like you did last year, so you're looking to run it back, which is absolutely. So, speaking of running it back, so far this year, not only has it been impressive the amount of runs that you guys have put up in games, but also the amount of shutouts that you guys have pitched as well. When you're getting it done like that on both sides of the ball, or shall I say, offensively and defensively, what does that say about this team and just the overall dominance that you guys have been able to instill in one another?
They bring an absolute force to the team. Every team that we go up against, it's us against ourselves, and they really hold that, true to themselves. And, with a powerful offensive hitting team and dominating, defense, it's really just a recipe for success, and it's tough to come up against. Speaking as a past player before, it's tough to not find any gaps, not to find a loophole, not to find a wedge in the recipe. You know what I mean? So these girls are just, it's amazing to see them come day in and day out and just give it everything. And it's tough to be up against them, so.
The amount of talent that we have on this desk that's going to different places. We have Iowa, we have Cal Poly, San Luis Obispo, Houston, Florida. They're literally going all over the map. I want to ask you, and anybody who wants to answer this too, from the perspective of how good the talent is in this area. You've grown up playing in this area your entire life, so you're facing the best of the best basically every single day. That's prepared you for the college game. But how good is softball in the Sacramento region?
Well, I think it's really good. Like it's just testified by how many girls that are committed to really good like D1 places and even D2. Like it's all we have a big softball community, and I feel like our softball community is really tight.
I'm curious, what do you guys do before games in order to loosen up? Do you have any pregame rituals or anything that you guys do as teams? I heard you say, "Oh yeah," so please share.
Well, we always pray. That's one thing we do before and after games. And something else we do, which is kind of funny, it's really original. So it's like a YouTube channel. Our coaches are the stars, and we are the viewers. So we are scrolling on our phones as they're coming out with the lineup, and we're scrolling, we're trying to find a video. And right when we click, they jump in and they say, "Welcome to Cougar Network," and this is who we're playing. And then from there, we basically say our team goals and we wrap up the video. Sometimes we get a weather report from Coach Lance, and that's basically it.
Leadership has been a really big theme of this conversation so far. And of course, you have on-field leadership, you have off-the-field leadership. I married a softball player, so I'm around this all the time. I absolutely love it. One of the unique parts of softball is the cheering that happens in the dugout while you're up to bat as well. Who's leading that? Like
Bree
Johnson.
Okay, so what? Like, there's got to be a strategy behind who comes up with the specific songs for each player. Like, what? Bring us into the cheer, the behind the scenes of cheering in softball.
Well, we a lot of times will like combine our ideas, but in the game, sometimes I just think of names and I try to think of things that rhyme with them that have to be softball. And then you get a B, and then it just works. We just keep making them and try not to forget them because it's easy to forget those.
Yeah.
I know you guys are a feared team to play against, but what are practices like between when you guys are facing each other, facing your pitchers, facing your field? Like, what is a practice like at Capital Christian Softball?
Work.
I like how she took it for
Never mind, put it back on Coach.
Coach Lance is he trains these girls, and Coach Chua, like we give them everything that they need and they work. I have never seen such a, hungry group of girls coming to practice every day and just go. Sorry, y'all can speak upon that, but I just had to say they work so hard. They work so hard.
Before we get out of here, just my final question I wanted to ask you guys. Actually, if you guys at home have been watching this interview, of course you can't help but notice they're all wearing the same exact shirt, and it has these 4 letters on it, grit. Can someone up here please describe to me what grit is and what it's about?
I can.
Take it away, Haley.
Grit means God radiates in trust, and to us as a team, I think that what makes us different is our coaches have instilled on us and our girls that we're here to glorify Christ in everything that we do, and I think this also keeps us humble because God has given us these gifts. He's given us the sport that we love, and at the end of the day, it's not about us, it's about Him. So I think this was really cool and something that we wanted to bring in this year.
Well, with that being said, guys, once again, the Capital Christian softball team, the defending NorCal state champions. It was an absolute pleasure to have you guys here on the show. Thank you so much for spending your evening and showing and sharing some of your grit with us. We appreciate that.
Thank you.